Hello and welcome back. I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who has liked and watched and subscribed my last week's video. It was a huge thing for me and it just means the world to me to see that you guys really enjoyed that video. But in this video, I just thought I would do a review and do an in-depth review maybe of my own wedding dress that I wore. And this particular wedding dress I did purchase from Aliexpress. I did love it enough that I wanted to wear it on my wedding day. This was my third dress on my wedding day. It sounds so excessive. But the first dress I got was from the boutique, the second dress I got was from Etsy, and the third dress I got was from Aliexpress. This one was £170. So this one is the dress that I wore, was my third dress that I wore on my, I know you said my birthday, how extra would that be? On my wedding day. I absolutely adore this dress. It was an A-line dress, it's very puffy. I am going to admit that there are alterations done to it, not professional alterations, AKA me. I've altered it and it may not be the best alterations, but I just want to get things, I just want to be honest with you guys. So I have not changed the material of this dress. This dress is very, very beautiful, honestly, and the fabrics is very, very nice. I am going to wear it, but before that, there's a couple of things I have done inside the dress. So as you can see, there's the original boning that the dress comes in, which is really, really nice. And I have to say, I did add some bra boning at the bottom, these wide ones, because I really like the look of them personally. Not from the outside, but it just gives you that shape. And when you're flat-chested like me, I would like to have some shape to it on my day. But that's basically what I've added. And I think that's pretty much it. The other things I've done was I've cinched it in a little bit on the waist because it was a little bit big on me. And then I made the bust area a little bit small because that was also too big on me. I'm really sorry I don't have photos of the original one when I first put them on because I just wasn't thinking about wearing the dress. But anyway, enough talking, let's get into it. I'm going to put everything in a bun for now, just because it makes it a lot easier when I try things on and my hair is out of the way. Just make sure the curtain is completely closed so I don't get any phone calls. And also I know I have an Amazon packaging arriving soon. I just hope that I'm not in a wedding dress when the doorbell goes. So I did have to pay extra, by the way. The £170 for this dress does include the extra fee. I think originally it was maybe £120, but the extra fee was because I wanted the extra length at the bottom of the dress. And also I really wanted the matching sleeves, the ones that they showed in the photos. At the time, I didn't know who was the original designer. I just found it on Aliexpress and I absolutely loved it. I knew I don't look good in a ball gown A-line dress. It's just one of those things that I've just noticed when I was in that boutique. It's not quite the same on me. So just bear that in mind when I'm wearing this. It might look stunning on you. Oh, that's definitely tighter. All right, it's over, so it should fit. I'm not gonna lie, I like it. Okay, so, okay, I can zip it up. I'm just gonna say this. There's actually a problem with the zip because as I said, even when I didn't have the extra pounds, I couldn't zip it up on my own. But I can, it will work. I'm determined to zip this up for you guys. Bear with me. Come on. It's the zip and not me. I promise you. But you can see what I mean. It is completely zippable. I think it's just a zipper on this. It's just a bit funny. So I'm just gonna have to leave it like this. But this is what this dress looks like. Imagine it a bit more cinched in, let's just put it this way, because I can't zip it. If I zip it up, this is what it will look like at the front. I just want to say, get in this. But yes, this is the dress. There's a couple of things I also added as well. So under here, I don't know if you can see this lining here. So I did add an extra layer. In fact, I added 2 extra layers to make that pattern pop. But before that, it was just this layer. And this is a much, much lighter color, as you can see. In fact, I'm going to bring this one up. And you can see this is what you'll get straight from from Aliexpress. And it just doesn't pop as much, if you like. But because I added the 2 extra tools, I'd say, it just pops a bit more. So that's just something that I probably would mention and think is quite important to mention as well. The tool at the very bottom, I can't remember whether it was, I mean, when it got delivered to me, it wasn't frayed. This could be completely my fault. It's completely frayed, but I think that might be just because I was just cutting it. And as I mentioned before, because it was my, I don't want to say because it was my third dress, because that makes it sound terrible, but I don't know. I love this dress. I do love it. And I do want to be able to zip into it. I think for this dress, at least for me, I felt like I looked better in person than on camera. And that could be a completely biased thing. But even now when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I feel like I look pretty decent. I look pretty good in this. But in photos, I have no waist definition. Anyway, I'm gonna show you like the actual fabric material. I'll bring you a bit closer, just so you can see the actual fabric. Ignore these. These things, I would say they're very minimal stuff. You can just like hand stitch it on. But the materials on this, I genuinely feel like it's going to be very similar to the original. I wish I do have the original, but I don't. The back of the dress looks like this. It would absolutely, if I could, should be like this. So imagine it like this. I just can't zip it up. And with the zip, it was something that I've always had some issue with. But I realized on the day, it was one of the things I was a bit worried about. But on the day, my bridesmaids actually managed to zip it up very easily. So I think it's one of those zips that needed like 4 hands instead of 2 hands. So this is the dress. I'm gonna show you the train. The train of this thing is stunning. So ignore this back. The train of this, I think, maybe if I open this door, you can see more. The train. I also got the sleeves for these, and I think I spent an extra £20 on these. When they first arrived, it actually didn't fit me. They were too big. So I did personally went and stitched them smaller so that they'll fit me a bit better. This is the look. But anyway, so these are the gloves. This is the dress. I feel like a princess in these. With A-line dresses and ball gown dresses, you absolutely feel like a princess in these. I think out of all the dresses I have, this one feels the most princessy one. It feels so, like you just want to twirl in it. I love this dress. If anyone asked what I would recommend on Aliexpress in terms of wedding dress, as of today, and to be honest, I wouldn't take my word for it as well because I haven't bought every single wedding dress on Aliexpress. But I would strongly recommend this one because in terms of fabric wise, it looks like the original. And in terms of structure wise, I would say, so when I was reverse image searching for this wedding dress, I think not long ago for this video, I found out that this dress, it was originally designed by Tom Sebastian. And this fabric, I noticed this fabric, they also sell this fabric online, which is why initially I was going to just buy the fabric and make the sleeves on my own. But I have to say this dress, I feel like it's a hybrid of 2 different dresses. The first one is Zoe and the other one is Jean. Zoe, because of the shape, is very similar to Zoe, I'd say. But Zoe, I think on the side, they have some mesh. So it's not fabric all the way, whereas Jean is a different shape. It's a stunning shape. But the fabric is all the way, so I think that's the main difference, and I feel like this is probably a hybrid of both of them. I could be wrong, but that's from my observation. But yes, this dress from Aliexpress, I think this is the best bang for your buck. I would still say if you love Tom Sebastian's design and you can afford his gowns, obviously go for it. If you love it, go for it. I'm sure the fit, which is something that's very, very hard to compare because from my last video, I realized when I was looking back that the fit of the original one versus the fit on Aliexpress one are 2 completely different fits. The original one made me look snatch, despite the amount of fluff I have going on. But, and the Aliexpress one didn't. I just looked a little plumped. If that makes sense. I think that's one of the reasons why people pay for the original designers, because they give you that extra structure, that extra snatch. Whereas if you just purchase from Aliexpress, you might not get that, you know. But this is the dress. I absolutely love it. Obviously with this sleeve, I am going to say it is itchy. I don't know from the original design, they might actually have a lining underneath there, so the beading and the thread isn't directly like on your skin. Whereas for this one, because it is, well, from Aliexpress, I mean, I only paid an extra £20 on it. There's no lining inside. And also it was way bigger on me than it needed to be. So I did have to physically alter it as well. The same thing with the dress as well. But for me, it was not a big deal just because I was learning to sew back then. In short, I'd say if you feel like Aliexpress wedding dress is the best fit for you, always prepare to pay on alterations, because otherwise, I probably would avoid AliExpress, just because even when getting my size done, it came to me really big. Like for this one, I remember sending over my measurements and everything, and when it came in, it was a lot bigger on me, and I had to physically go and change it. Whereas if you went and ordered from the boutique, whatever you see, whatever you say your measurements are, that is what you're going to get. I had the most minimal alterations on my boutique dress, and the second one was my Etsy dress. But this one, because there were so many alterations and I only paid £170, and it was also my third dress, I didn't bother going to get it professionally altered. I altered it myself just because I knew at this point a lot of the guests would probably go home. And for me, I know my parents would go home at that time, so they won't see me on my third dress. And the evening was pretty much open to everyone. So a lot of the time I just stayed upstairs is basically what happened with my bridesmaids, but I was quite happy with it. I just wanted to wear it. I honestly, I really like this dress. In terms of value wise, I think this is crazy. But that was my review for this AliExpress dress. For £170, I personally would get it again. I really, really like this dress. The material, a lot of the time when it comes to wedding dress, it's all down to the material. So you rather get a dress that has good materials and then you can alter it to fit you than having bad materials. When you have bad materials, what you don't want is a wedding dress that's made out of linings as the main fabric, as opposed to actual proper fabric for your main fabric, is what I'm saying. And this one, I feel like the fabric is all there. The quality of the fabric is all there. They've also have horsehair at the very bottom to make it fluff out, which I think it's really, really good because it does fluff out this dress. If you want to make it fluffy, you can always add a little bit more underneath. But for me, the more fluff I get, the more I get lost in it, let's put it that way.